Okay, roll tape. Hi, I'm David Maxon. I'm a president of the board of directors of Medfield Community Cable Access Corporation, also known as Medfield TV. Or we used to call ourselves Medfield.TV because we thought it was cool. So welcome to the annual meeting of the members. This is something that's called for in the bylaws of the corporation. We are a not-for-profit corporation, 501c3, and we collect most of our income from subscribers to Verizon and Comcast cable TV services through the town. So town meeting at this point authorizes the release of the funds that come in from Comcast and Verizon to Medfield TV so that we can do the good work that we do here. I guess I could start out by introducing current members of the board who are here. And we have Nick Connor, Robert Worth, and Mike Pastore. There he is, right in front of me. Yeah, our esteemed secretary. I'll leave it to Katie to do whatever she's going to do to introduce and to thank our wonderful team of volunteers and employees. And this is the formal annual meeting, as I mentioned, called for in the bylaws. And then after that meeting, we'll have Katie and the rest of the team do some kind of a song and dance, a little presentation about the year in review, I guess. So cable subscribers who live in Medfield who are 16 and over are eligible to vote in the meeting tonight. This is your job, is to vote on the actions that are before us on the agenda. And I hope everyone has signed the sign-up sheet so that we have a record of our quorum of 10 people. And my wife is shaking her head. No, I haven't done that. Well, then you're not here. I think we probably have a good count, just judging from the number of heads I see here. We have two business items. One is a change in the bylaws, and the other is to elect directors for some vacant terms. So I hereby declare that we are opening the annual meeting of the members. And how are we doing minutes? You have a recording that's running, obviously. So, and our secretary is also doing it the old-fashioned way. Great. So I'm going to just go through the various articles in the bylaws that we have to follow to do this. We have to verify that the president is present to preside over the meeting. Voila. And then we have an agenda I think you've seen. Is there any new business to add to the agenda? Hearing none, I will declare that the agenda is adopted unless I hear any objections. And that the meeting time and date was fixed by the board of directors and is occurring reasonably after the third Wednesday in March. And it's within the town of Medfield, so that's good. And then in the roll call section, I think we won't have a roll call. We'll just ask the clerk to verify whether there are at least 10 members present and are listed in the record of members attending. I forgot to give you the cue for that.
I did just sign up front.
Yeah. No, you can't sign twice. You'll be arrested.
David, quick question.
Yeah.
We're not subscribers to cable. We just have internet with Verizon.
Right. Well, yes. Well, technically, you have to be a subscriber to the cable service. So how many people are not presently subscribing to, you've cut the cord and you're not subscribing to cable TV? We have a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I think you have to, though. I think in order to get internet, I still subscribe to like a basic cable subscription.
You have basic cable.
The the most basic.
You don't have basic cable.
If we
No.
do, I don't know,
You can
because
have
we
YouTube
only
TV.
stream.
Well, we have.
Right, I don't have
I've
that.
seen
Yeah,
stuff
this
on
is,
YouTube.
I
We don't
have,
have cable books.
Right?
Yeah, we don't have a cable
Right,
box.
right. Okay, so taking out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5. What's that? That's what the bylaw change is tonight. So,
He's got a chicken and egg scenario.
right, right. So, do you have a count, body count? Has everyone signed this?
Yes?
Yes.
I haven't.
Okay,
Your wife is breaking the rules.
so what's the count so far?
11.
Really?
It's coming. Why did you do the pen?
Because I don't want to be,
I'll sign that.
You had to ask.
I didn't sign it.
Yeah, that's a good, right?
If you're paying Verizon, Dave,
Yes.
if you're paying Verizon or Comcast for your internet, aren't you a subscriber to one of those companies?
Well, the way we've been reading the bylaws is you have to be a subscriber to the cable TV service. And the internet is an information service. And you are not paying, I don't think, maybe you are you paying the service tax if you don't have cable TV service?
The service tax,
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's a fee, it's not a tax.
Yes.
service fee? I don't know what that is.
That's how we get our money through the town. And it's all keyed on the cable TV franchise and the provision of cable TV services.
Has anyone who cut the cord done so within the last 12 months?
Yes.
Okay, there's one extra.
So clerk, I just need you to look at the record that you have in front of you and to certify whether we have members, a quantity of at least 10 members
We do.
present.
With that last attestation that we were within the last 12 months, that is
Okay,
within the,
all right.
the year of Medfield TV, we have 10 members.
All right, so the clerk has declared that we have a quorum and we can move on.
It was actually the last like 4 months. So it's really good.
All right, all right. And then, in what manner, esteemed executive director, have we posted and announced the upcoming meeting?
Hometown Weekly, The Patch.
Hometown Weekly and the Patch,
The Medfield Insider.
Medfield Insider, and then a bunch
and
of
social media.
things.
channels.
Great. So I think according to Article 4.2D, we have given notice as required by the bylaws. Do we have minutes from the previous meeting to accept?
Yes, those are in everyone's packet.
In your packet, yes. Are there any questions about the minutes of the previous meeting? Any comments? Any suggested additions, changes, or deletions? Hearing none, I'll let's be formal about this one. I'll accept a motion to adopt the minutes of the previous meeting.
Motion to adopt.
And we have a motion. Do we have a second? You know, it's the members, so it's anybody can do this. It doesn't need to be a board member. Okay. And any discussion about the minutes? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Oh, good. The motion carries unanimously. I was a little concerned. All right. And then the annual report of the Board of Directors comes from me. That's what it says here. So, and I apologize. I haven't actually looked at the slides yet. So let's punt.
We're gonna wing it.
All right.
You're gonna do great.
Right. Thanks. So this is 2022. There we go. And the revenue here, as you can see, this little bump in the revenue is because we are on a tether ever since the Commonwealth decided that town meeting should appropriate the funds that have come in from the cable companies. So money comes in 2022 for our 2022 budget, but we can't touch it until the town meeting occurs, and town meeting authorizes the release of those funds to Medfield TV, And then we go back and retroactively fix last year's finances. There have been some efforts in the legislature, in the Commonwealth, to try and change this rule so that it is less burdensome. Basically, we have to dig into savings to pay for last year until last year's money comes in this year. And we have income of $252,000, which is what this number should be, right? Because we've projected what the income would be. That's here, right? Okay, that's this column here. And I see, we've got two pending colors here. So that affects our cash stance, but still we do have some $300,000+ in assets, in investments, which is good. I like to see that we have at least a year's worth of operating capital in the bank, so to speak. Now, our expenses last year were just about the same as our income, which is what we try to do, is do try to not go into the red in our annual budget. And I'm not recalling, is the capital maintained separately?
I believe it is. I did not include capital.
Okay, all right. So we also get these capital payouts from the cable companies, and this is a vestige of cable TV from the 1980s, where the cable TV company was putting money into the operation and buying the equipment and hiring the paid staff and that sort of thing. And that's evolved over time to this model now where we have a independent, not-for-profit corporation. So when the franchises are negotiated with Comcast, it's every 10 years. With Verizon now, it's every 5 years. There are some capital contributions that come along in along the way during the term. So there's some additional money that comes in that's not showing up here, but we can only spend it on depreciable equipment and that sort of thing. Is there anything else that we have graph-wise, or is that my net gain loss? Right. So after we equalize for the money that the town has, but we don't have yet, we're ever so slightly in the, we'll call it the black. Yeah. Thanks to Katie managing our budget. So that's it for the financial report. Do we have
Cable subscribers next.
cable subscribers? Okay. Yes, this was something. This is very confusing.
Would you like me to explain?
Yeah, I'd love it. I love it because you, when you did it on the email, you nailed it. So yeah,
Okay.
go ahead. Katie Duvall.
So this is my confusing, I say fancy graph of the total cable subscribers over the last 20 years, the number of Comcast subscribers in the blue.
Wait a minute. Maybe I can be Vanna White.
Thank you. And then the Verizon subscribers in orange. So as you can tell, this is starting to slowly decline. And the reason that the line is, the same for the first few years is just because we didn't have Verizon in Medfield yet. So can I have the next slide? Okay, so we can't even read this. Sorry. So this graph over here shows the percentage that the cable subscribers are going down year by year. So every year it's going down by an even higher percentage. And then the second graph is the percentage of cable subscribers that we've lost or gained since 2002. So as you can see by the end of the graph here, we have finally reached a point where we have less cable subscribers than we started with. So that does not mean very good things for our budget. So we are losing money every year. We do have to find other ways to supplement that through alternative revenue and fundraising. So I'll let you take over.
Thank you. And that kind of reinforces what I was saying before about the fact that when somebody cuts the cord and is no longer getting cable TV, they're no longer paying into the funds that come to Medfield TV. And as I said, this is why there is some movement in the public access TV community to try and get something going where this community television fee is expanded to cover services of other services that provide television to residents. And this all goes back to the 1970s and 1980s when the FCC was in a position, and much more progressive at the time, that it recognized it couldn't issue a TV station license to every town. There just weren't enough frequencies. So what it did instead was, let's fund community television using this new thing called cable TV service. And so towns could enter into franchise deals to obtain a fee from the cable company for the right to provide cable TV to the community. And so it's a fee to the cable company. Now the cable company shows it as a fee on your bill, but it's not a tax. But it's generally based on something that's slightly under 5% of their gross revenue for the TV service, the cable TV services in the town that has the franchise. All right, so the next thing we have is a red line with, see here, it used to say, reside in a home which is connected to the Medfield cable television system. And it used to be that the cable television system was a coaxial cable that had TV channels on it. And so if you're connected to that, it comes into your TV as if it were a TV antenna. And that's why it was called Community Antenna Television, CATV. Now, technology has morphed, and we now have a DOCSIS, digital over cable system, and it's giving you what looks like a bunch of cable TV channels in a package that show up on your TV like channels, but it's almost like dedicated YouTube or dedicated Netflix. But it still qualifies as cable television service and qualifies under the franchise. And you can see how, from the technology side, it's really not much different from those of you who have cut the cord, what you already have in other services, Prime. So there's this kind of merging of technology and merging of services, and this is again a reason why we're hoping that we can move the state into broadening the way the fees are collected. So what we wanted to do was to get ahead of that curve and change the bylaw to maintaining a subscription to a television or internet video service billed to their Medfield address. So if you're a Prime subscriber or a Netflix subscriber or a Comcast or Fios TV subscriber, either way you would qualify. And then the other thing we did is decided to take out the sentence that starts the corporation, because it was started in 1980 something, and we don't need that language anymore. The first members of the corporation, it says there. So any questions about this proposed bylaw change? And Mr. Darien had his hand up first. But
Sorry.
No, that's my question.
Is it, so any internet service, would that include, like, we switched to T-Mobile for our phones, they were offering us basically wireless data for internet. We didn't take them up on it. We're happy with Fios at the moment, but they were doing some sort of 5G broadband that would allow us to do all of our internet stuff without literally a cable at all.
And they would have put a fixed box in your house to distribute that to your devices, whether wirelessly or wired.
I don't know if that's going to take off or not.
Yeah.
You know, the technology's been around for 5+ years.
that's where 5G is going, yes.
Yeah,
Of course, to do that, we need more towers in Medfield, but that's another story.
right.
Yes, but it's not T-Mobile, it's an internet video service.
So it doesn't have to have the wire, it can be broadcast to you. It's okay.
It's that if you have an internet connection, however you have it,
Okay,
you have to be subscribing to a video service on that internet connection.
gotcha.
So it's 2 steps, yeah.
In future, it could be a Sprint, T-Mobile, or something else. You can watch it on your phone or iPad.
Right,
Without television.
right. You could be watching it on your iPad. I mean, as long as you're a subscriber and you have, it's a video service you're subscribing to.
Really draftsmanship.
Yeah. Russ?
So, do I understand then what you're, by changing the language to internet video service, that would be a Netflix?
Yes.
How are you gonna get money from Netflix?
That's what is going on behind the scenes at the legislature.
So this is.
It may never happen.
So right now, you won't be able to charge them, but you're changing your bylaws so you can.
Right. So that we can get a quorum once a year.
Right,
And then hopefully money from Netflix eventually.
Right.
but,
It's acknowledging the
but you're not
reality.
tied,
of
but you're not tied
The
into
world is
Netflix
changing.
yet. So you're just tied into Verizon and Comcast.
Right, and we won't be tied into Netflix. You'll be using YouTube or Medfield TV's own service to get Medfield TV. What we're hoping is that in time, my lifetime, I don't know, but in time, we'll be able to get subscription fees from a Netflix because you're subscribing to Netflix and you are a resident of Medfield.
Now, people who just have internet can't watch Medfield TV, right?
They can.
They can.
Yeah.
We have an HD channel on our website that you can watch Medfield TV on.
So there's an HD channel on the website that
And
is
also YouTube.
streaming the main program channel. It's just that you can't get it on Prime or Netflix. You'll have to go to the internet. So yeah, we're kind of separating the delivery service from the funding service, if you see what I'm saying. So, and I do look to the people who are lawyers in the room. If you have any doubts or concerns, to please voice them. We certainly don't want to do anything that's inappropriate, but we think that this is a sort of proactive way to address the fact that people are cutting the cord, and that Medfield has this thriving service that we provide to the community and in the community. So with that, I accept a motion to adopt this change. If there's a member who would like to make that motion. Members, you're all members.
I'll make it.
Okay, yes, you're all members. That's yeah. It's hard to make that clear because before the board members kind of usurped your authority, but as members you can make a motion. So we have a motion from Russ, and does anyone want to second the motion? And we have a number of seconds. So does that mean seconds, thirds, and fourths? So any other further discussion about this bylaw change? And hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Okay, the motion carries, and thank you. And actually, I think this is good to get this complicated situation out, where we can kind of explain what the challenge is for the corporation going forward. And then our next step, I think, no more slides for me. All right, can we put something pretty up? Yeah, perfect. All right, so the next thing is that we have in the bylaws room for 9 board members. And presently, we have the folks I introduced this evening, and we also have Rika Athanasiadis, who is not present tonight. And then I also want to just take a moment to express my appreciation and the board's appreciation to Bill Gallagher, who was our treasurer for several years. And he was our fiscally responsible voice in our board meetings. Really appreciate his perspective and his input. And we hope that he and his wife are doing well and looking for good times ahead. So Rika and Nick have served the first of their 3-year terms, and Robert and Mike have started new terms in 2021, and then my term ends, but I have agreed to stay on for a little bit anyway. So what we'd like to do is to place some names in nomination to be on the board. In addition, we've had a number of residents who have responded to our call for participation, and we'd like to place them in the nomination as well, which would be Lindsay Sutton, Christy Comain, and Kathleen Darien. Got to get my first and last names in the right sequence there. So those three plus myself, I would like to place into nomination. And do we have a second for the nominations? And any discussion, any further nominations? Hearing none, all in favor of, this is just the nominations, putting these names in nomination as a single slate for voting. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. All right. So now we have a slate of nominees, and I'll take a motion to adopt the slate.
Motion to adopt.
And we have a motion to adopt. A second? And we have a second. All right. Any discussion about the slate? Hearing none. All in favor? Thank you. I know it's getting a little tedious here. And opposed. Great. Thank you. Okay, so welcome to the new members of the board. Some of you have just recently contacted us, so you're in for a great ride. And thank you so much for stepping up and offering your perspective and your experience. And if anyone else is interested in joining the board of directors, I haven't done a count, but I think we still have some slots open. And if we don't, we will. So if you have any interest, contact Katie to talk about it. And then one thing that we're required with the board is to have our annual meeting. And rather than do that tonight, which is what we sometimes do, because we have some new board members, I think I'd like to just postpone that. But we have to do it within the next 30 days. And at that meeting, we'll be electing the officers for the next year. Good. Skipped right ahead. How am I doing? Thanks. Appreciate the support. Okay. Look at that. I think we're done. And if anybody wants to move to close the annual meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Yay! Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor of closing the annual meeting of the members of the Medfield Community Cable Access Corporation, please say yes. Opposed? Great. Thanks for coming and putting up with the formalities. We're looking forward to a really good year coming up. And I want to reintroduce Katie to do her thing. And to say also that she has just passed her first year milestone last month, and we are thrilled at what she's done to steer the ship. And you have the floor.
Thank you all for sticking around for my piece. So again, thank you all so much for coming tonight, and special thank you to Marcus Vaughn for coming as well. It was a really special surprise to meet you tonight, so thank you. I also, before I jump into everything, I want to thank all of my staff for being here tonight. So I'm going to call you out by name, and you can give them a little round of applause. So first we have Amanda Timmons. In the back we have Andrew Willoughby. Everybody's in the back, so you know if you want to turn around. We have Jack O'Sullivan. And Jack and Andrew are our newest members of Medfield TV. They joined us in August. We have Mike Geegan. And then Janine Vunatzos could not be with us tonight, but she says hi to everybody. So thank you to all my staff for all of your hard work and for making Medfield TV such a special place to work at. And thank you for all you do for Medfield TV. So 2022 was a very busy and exciting year for Medfield TV. And to start our recap, I'd like to take a look back at a few of the events and activities that our staff and volunteers were involved in throughout the community. So let's take a look. All right, thank you so much to Andrew for putting that together for us. In addition to all of the great programming that we recorded this past year, we also made some fun additional changes. So we upgraded some of our equipment. We got four new JVC cameras and also a gimbal. We had two new interns, Andrea and Evangelos, and both of them were graphic design interns. They weren't even videography interns. So they have been a great addition to our team. And then we also created some new original programming this year, the Chilling Campfire Stories from Local series and the Gazebo Players of Medfield documentary called, what was it again? All the World's a Gazebo. We thought that was pretty clever. So now to some of the numbers. In 2022, Medfield TV broadcasted 24/7 on Comcast and Verizon. We produced 759 new shows for a total of 539 hours of content. Of these shows, 50 were educational or school committee meetings, 54 were government meetings, and the rest were local events, church services, Medfield TV original programming, and programming created by our members and community. YouTube continued to also be a popular way for viewers to access our content and stay informed. Our top 5 most watched YouTube videos from 2022 were all school related and include 2 school committee meetings, the MHS fashion show, the MHS class day, and Miss Amazing. So speaking of programming involving the schools, Warrior Sports Talk was created in 2022 by 2 Medfield High School seniors, Emily Morgan and Cece Cam. And junior Curran Coakley also joined the team in October, and they were off and running covering special games, recapping the latest Medfield High School sports news, and interviewing team captains. It has been a very popular show, and we're hopeful that it will continue and that spin-offs will be created of it as well in the coming years. Another recurring volunteer series was Special Times with Peter Filosa, who was finally able to bring his show back to the studio after an extended time on Zoom due to the pandemic. We also invite others from the community to explore creating a show of their own in the studio as well. If you could see, as you could see in our recap video, Medfield TV continued to be a valuable resource to the community in 2022. With the help of our amazing volunteers, we covered over 50 events last year, and these included all of the end of school year events, the school concerts, Culture Fest, Fun at the Forge, summer concerts, Memorial Day, and much, much more. And I do want to give a special shout out to our volunteer, Tanya, who recorded a majority of those. So thank you, Tanya. We also helped out local organizations by helping them to create public service announcements and promotional videos for their nonprofit or community initiative. These included the Belforge Welcome Video, the Hinckley Helpers PSA, the New Life Furniture Bank PSA, and the 5 reasons to visit the Peak House. Citizens were also kept up to date with nearly 70 town government meetings by us, live broadcasting or posting them to our YouTube channel. There, viewers could watch several different committee meetings such as the school committee, the Board of Selectmen, the warrant committee, and special meetings such as Denise Garlick's report to the community and the Medfield State Hospital and Trinity Financial presentations. Medfield TV also covered the annual town meeting in May, which was live streamed for viewers at home to watch the results of the votes in real time. And I think it's important to note that we set up for this twice due to the lack of a quorum on night 1. So, if only for the sake of my staff, please come to annual town meeting this year on May 1st. In September, our staff was able to connect to the community during Discover Medfield Day, where we had an interactive booth with red carpet movie trivia, Hollywood stars, a raffle, and life-sized cardboard movie cutouts. Leading up to the Halloween season, Medfield TV had a creative writing contest for local residents. Winners of the contest received a Medfield TV t-shirt and gift cards from local businesses. They also narrated their stories in our new original program, Chilling Campfires, Stories from Locals. For the holiday stroll, Medfield TV was in the heart of the action at the Medfield Public Library, where we had a green screen and an animated background, which was created by our intern, Andrea. And attendees sent their holiday wishes to the town of Medfield, and we compiled them into a montage video that played during the December holidays. At the end of the year, we also submitted entries to the Massachusetts Creator Awards, which is a ceremony organized by Mass Access, on which I serve as a board member. And they recognize outstanding work in television and media within the state of Massachusetts. So although I could not rig it and we did not win this past year, we were finalists in 2 categories. And they were Innovation, Take a Peek Inside and Out, and then Civic Engagement, the Medfield Transfer Station Tour. As we look forward into 2023, there are many exciting things to come, and some of which are already underway. These include the Medfield TV Youth Media Program classes, which we are holding in partnership with Medfield Outreach. So far, we've already taught a field production February vacation class, and we plan to hold a video editing class during April vacation and a stop motion animation class, and possibly some other classes this summer as well. We are also talking with the special education department to teach studio production classes to their students in the fall and the spring. And we also started some production services this year for local businesses, and we just completed a video for Mary Dealey at Butox, etc. We also are creating new original programming. We started Medfield Moment this year, and our first episode was with Peg Doyle. Our second one will be with My Healthy Sweet Tooth. We are also going to be working on a new documentary that may be done this year, maybe the following year, and it's going to be on the Belforge Art Center. We also welcomed the return of the art gallery receptions with Colleen Sullivan in February and March, and we're hoping to hold another one with the Medfield High School Art Department in the coming months. We are also working with Kathleen on a fundraising event in the fall for a scarecrow contest, and maybe you've seen those in other communities, and we're excited to hopefully bring that here as well. We're also hoping that maybe we'll win a first place award for the Mass Creator Awards. We have a lot of great programming to choose from this year, so hopefully we'll get that first place award this year. And then we've also applied for a Medfield Foundation Legacy Grant as well. We are one of the finalists for it. We're making our pitch next week, so please hope that we will get that as well. And then, of course, we're also continuing our coverage of local meetings and town events. So now, there are a few things that I need from all of you. If you're doing this already, thank you so much. We do need involvement as volunteers. If you are interested in volunteering for videography work, for editing, or just as a helping hand at some of our events, you can visit our volunteer page on our website. It's connected to an app called Point, and that's how we keep track of all the volunteer hours for our volunteers. Another way that you can help is with your monetary support. We did show you a graph that shows cable subscriptions dipping, so that also in turn affects our budget every year. So if you have the funds to share and you would like to make a donation to Medfield TV, we would very much welcome it. We do have a QR code over here, so you can donate with a credit card. And then we also have some t-shirts over here that we would like to offer to you for a suggested donation of $20 or whatever you can provide. So your contributions are really vital to the success and the future of Medfield TV. So please consider that in the future. And that's it for me. Thank you so much.
I don't have anything else to say. So thanks for coming tonight, and have a good night, and check out the tables over here. Thanks.